I got arrested in freaking Cancun, Mexico.
Water dirty. It's cold. I don't take cold showers.
They're targeting tourists.
Are the cartels and the military about to go to war?
In fact, it was so scary that I will never go back to Cabo.
Never book an Airbnb internationally.
Like, they're crooked, they're disgusting people, and I don't recommend for you guys to go there.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sandy. This is part 2 Mexico vacation trips from hell, y'all. This is crazy. If you haven't watched part 1, make sure you do, because part 2 gets even crazier. Okay, it gets crazier, so make sure you go tap in. And without further ado, y'all know what's up. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let's just get right into it.
Okay, so y'all, my sister planned me a surprise birthday trip. It's cold as fuck out here, so she planned me a surprise birthday trip, and I'm finna find out where I'm going right before I go to the airport. So, hey. What you gonna do? So y'all, I'm finna go to Tulum.
Mexico, holla.
Okay. Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about.
Where you going, girl? I'm going to Tulum, baby.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, my sister.
Okay, so as y'all seen in the clips, I was very excited to get to Tulum. Like, I was very, very excited. Even though when we first got to the airport, customs randomly let everybody else go, but I feel like they stereotyped us and checked us. I'm talking about checked us like they knew we had weed and stuff on us. So that was the first thing when I got to Mexico, which is fine, because I know there's something that they do there or whatever. We was good. We was able to leave and stuff. Got to the Airbnb, and it's very nice. Yeah, I'm gonna show y'all some clips. Oh yeah, it's really nice. Like, the Airbnb in a safe area, and it's nice. Like, I had no complaints about that. So we get dressed, and we were supposed to go to Taboo, which is a popular club that people have shared on TikTok and stuff. So we were supposed to go to Taboo, and we ended up going, and on our way to Taboo, it was some officers in a row. We thinking, it's just a regular stop, a traffic stop, because they know there's a club out there, and they're just doing routine like they do in the States. So we go on by, we get to Taboo. They was finna close at 12, so we walked across the street to a club, Toxic. It's the only black-owned club in Mexico. In Tulum, Mexico. And it was very nice. Jumping, had a good time. If you do come, which I don't recommend to come to Mexico, if you do come, that's a good club to go to. So after we went to the club or whatever, we left or whatever, and the same officers were standing in the street, and they were letting cars go by. So they saw us and flashed a light in the car, and he made me let down the window, and he was just like, "Where y'all going?" Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Oh, hey, officer, we're just going back to our Airbnb. We haven't been drinking, nothing like that." So he was like, "Pull over." So we ended up pulling over or whatever. And I was thinking, like, I don't want to pull over. But it's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm in a different area. Let me just pull over. So I pulled over because, they had an officer car out there. They had on officer clothes, uniform. And they had... So they had been stopping people or let people go or whatever. Because they had let somebody go. They had somebody pulled over on the way there, but they were gone by the time we left. And so... they stopped us and pulled us over. The first thing they tried to say was, "Well, let's get out. We smell weed," which they didn't. So me and my friend, we were in the front. They made us both get out first. So we got out. What's the first thing they grabbed? Our purses. So I grabbed my purse and was like, "Okay, we don't have nothing. If you smell weed, the first thing you want to do is search the person or search around in the car." And true enough, you could search my purse as well. So the officer grabbed my purse, and I grabbed it and put it on the ground and was like, "Look, we can pull it all out. There's nothing in here." And they had my friend at the back of the thing, and her purse was sitting in the front. So my sister was in the car, and they started to go through her purse, and she was like, "Why are you taking that money out?" So they ended up, he was like, "I didn't take nothing out," and he put it back. And so they had her in the back and had me on the side, and so they started going through my purse. And he found a grinder, which customs let me bring through. They looked at it, took a picture. So they ended, I'm at the Airbnb too. It's nice. It's very nice. But So they ended up taking me, the passenger out, and they ended up taking one other passenger out. And so once they took us out, they just was so fixated on finding some weed and finding stuff. They couldn't find nothing. So he said, well, you know, you could get in trouble for this. So I'm like, officer, if customs let me through, why would I be getting in trouble for a grinder that has nothing in it? So why would I get in trouble for that? I was like, well, he was like, well, I can help you out. You can go ahead and pay a ticket now, or you can go to jail, and you can pay it tomorrow when you go to jail. So the first thing we like, oh no, we don't want to go to jail. What you mean? Like, it's just a grinder. Like, where's your supervisor at? So we get to ask a question. So they tell us we have to pay them $2,000 US to leave from over there, or we're going to jail. So we was like, no, we don't have that type of money to give y'all for a grinder. If that's the case, we'll take the ticket and pay it in the morning. You can write us out the ticket or whatever. If it's, you know, or call your supervisor. And at this point, a couple of the girls, because it was 6 of us, recorded. They took their phones, deleted the video, then made them go to the recent deletes and delete the video, another video. And I have footage of one video we was able to keep, but it doesn't show too much. But you can see we were stopped by police officers. So they were very aggressive, had guns and everything. So we like, y'all don't find them, we don't have nothing. Can y'all please let us go? They went for $2,000 to $1,200 to $800, and they finally accept $500. But in the midst of them doing all that, basically after doing all that, basically we felt roughed up, you know, guns out, they taking our phones out of our hands, they taking our purses, going through them, they didn't even never check the car. So we like, at this point, everybody got kids, so everybody is just like, let's try to pay something so we can get back home to our kids. We don't want to come up missing. We go to jail, we might get lost in the system, our families don't know where we at, the phones are not good service, they can't track us on Find My, who we share locations with. And we just scared out our minds. Like, the stuff that we see on TV is actually happening here in Mexico. And we were just so afraid. So they ended up stealing $500 out of one girl purse, and then turned around and made us pay another $500 to leave. So in all, they got $1,000, which is like $17,000 in their money. So they hit a good lick. Then they let us go. But the killing thing is, we gave him the money, and he gonna say, is it real? At this point, we driving out, because like, if y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do, you know damn well that money is real. But I'm telling y'all about this because it was scary, and it was so like unrealistic. Like, we just never thought that we would ever experience anything like this. And some of us, it's our first time out of the country, so just imagine what we were feeling like. So yes, imagine what we were feeling like. I mean, we are still shooken up. We enjoyed ourselves today, which is day 2. We enjoyed ourselves today. But I feel like if you come to Mexico, definitely stay at a resort. Definitely have tour guides, because this was a surprise birthday trip, so I didn't have any planning of it. And it's just like, it's unsafe here. Point blank period. It's unsafe here. The police, that's what they do. That's how they make their money. They extort us. Like, that's what they do to the tourists. That's how they make their extra money. Our money has so much value to them that that's what they do. And it's really sad. The water dirty. It's cold. I don't take cold showers. I am never coming back to Mexico. I know they say never, don't say never, but it's not somewhere I would want to go, because I don't want to be on edge where I'm supposed to be somewhere relaxing. And that's how we feel, on edge. I would not recommend coming to Tulum, Mexico ever again. To no one. Never. Because that was the scariest stuff I've ever experienced in my life. And we could have came up missing.
I really hate making this video. I don't really like talking about my feelings or being on social media to talk about. Yeah, I'm so fucking cringe. Shit. So, I want to talk about what happened last week. You know, so I was in Tulum celebrating my sister's birthday. Mind you, prior to us going to the trip, I didn't want her to go by herself, because I hear a lot of crazy story now on how Mexico is nowadays. However, I've been in Tulum multiple times, so I kind of have this way of, knowing how to move. But anyway, yeah, so I ended up going. We went to this beach club called Cabo. So, if you're not familiar with Cabo, they have one in Cancun. There's one. I hate making this fucking video. Fuck. Anyway, so we went to Cabo. It was on a Friday. As we get there, there was this guy who was trying to sell us drugs. And he was doing that to everybody. If you were black, that's just how they roll there. So I'm just was like, okay, cool. We got in. I didn't really think too much of it. So a few hours later, my sister and her best friend, they're just like laying down, chilling after everybody was just like turning up. Everybody was just having a great time. I mean, we were all vibing. Everybody was just having a phenomenal time. It's Mexico still, and that's how things go. But anyway, so the guy is talking to me, the same drug dealer. He asked me again, if I was interested. I said no. He started asking me, a question like where I'm from, blah, blah, blah. So as we were talking, and all of a sudden I see these two guys with face mask on walk past me and grab him and walk away. And I'm like, that's fucking weird. So the next thing I see is they pull out a gun, and I'm just like, I start like working on my sister. I'm like, yo, we gotta go. And she's getting her her best friend. I'm like in shock, and I'm warning these other girls next to me. I'm like, yo, they have a gun. Like, let's get the fuck out of here. Out of nowhere, chaos is happening. Everybody started running. That was like, then we saw them pistol whip him. And my sister best friend kept following, running, crying, trying to grab the shoes. And I'm like, yo, come on, let's go. As I'm looking, trying to hold her. And all of a sudden, I see them shot this guy. Fucking just shot this guy. It was... I'm just... the first shot, like, I just froze because I'm like, hold up, I know damn well, like, that was not a shot. And then you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And by then, like, we are all running through the fucking sand. And I'm just... all I could just think about is I couldn't breathe. I'm trying to make sure, my sister is, like, getting there. I'm just like, I was just thinking like, oh my God, are more coming, and so I just, kept running until we found some safe space. And I was barefoot, like, was wearing no shoes. My back was hurting from trying to get my sister friend up. And I just running. When we got to the safe room, I just told him to stay there. And mind you, I have to go back to the area, because the valley, before you get there, the valley is like before the entrance. So I had to go there. I saw like everybody, the police, the military, they're like just driving around like fucking maniacs on the road. Like, I'm like, holy fuck, are we about to witness a war between the cartels and the military? And I asked the valley guy where the car is. He doesn't really, tell me. He doesn't know exactly where it is. I mean, like, he can't even go get the car because everybody was just out there in panic. And I just get my keys. I asked him where it is. I had like I forgot to say, like, I had like an empty vodka bottle in my hand and a wood. I was running like as if I'm some fucking military guy or some action movie trying to survive the cartels. And I'm just like, I grabbed the keys. I'm jumping in people's fences, beeping around because I don't know where the fuck the car is. Like, I'm just like going around. my legs was sore. Like my left leg was kind of broken because at one point I stumbled on my toes and I actually got a scar. And I'm just fucking running. Found my car. I started driving. I was hitting the bumps, hitting the walls, trying to get the fuck out of there. And I'm looking at the area where I left my sister and her friend and those other girls. And I saw that I drove past them without even fucking knowing. So I stopped the car, got out, kept running, had the empty vodka bottle, kept running, just shorts on, just kept running. And I couldn't find where I left them, couldn't find them. And I was crying in the middle of the, road. The police, the military kept coming. And I'm like, I need to come the fuck down and find them because we don't know what the fuck is about to happen. Are the cartels and the military about to go to war? So I kept asking people, where is, because I remember the name. But then I saw the same girls that we were with, and they told me, that my sister had taken a cab, that I drove past them without knowing. Actually, yeah, and so mind you, also my phone was in that bag that they had with them. So I don't even know how to get back to the Airbnb, so I just grab a car and rely on my ADHD and my memory skills to figure out where the Airbnb is. When I get there, they apparently found out that I didn't have my phone on me because they kept on calling me. I couldn't answer the phone because they had the phone the whole time. And then I called them. They were like 5 minutes away from the Airbnb, so they ended up coming back. I know people say like people die, people shooting every day. Yeah, but it's really different if you are witnessing some shit like that. Like I cannot imagine people that witness those kind of trauma. Like yeah. So I don't know.
I used to work for Airbnb for probably about 3 years, customer experience, where I would deal with customers about their stays, and we will talk to the customers to kind of be the middle person between the customer and the host, basically like that, right? I always tell people, I used to work for Airbnb. I will never book an Airbnb internationally. I barely book an Airbnb in the United States, but internationally it is a no-go. You want to know why? Because even though Airbnb have certain rules and certain things in place, it's very difficult for them to screen everybody for other things besides them being a criminal or something like that, right? So international, these people, especially like in Mexico and places like that, these people will have outsiders do their dirty work, right? Will have outsiders come and rob you, will have outsiders come and kidnap you, and then they come back and say like their hands are clean, like, oh, we had nothing to do with it, we don't know, it was just random people. No. And they 9 out of 10 are most likely involved, right? And they be having hidden cameras. They have people watching you. Sometimes, like the people they hire to clean the house is working with them. Whoever they have to come to the house and check on you is working with them. So yes, when you book, I recommend when you're traveling internationally, it may be more expensive, but stay in a resort. Stay somewhere that has cameras. Stay somewhere that is secure. Stay somewhere that is safe. You do not know the country. You do not know their rules. You do not know their laws. And a lot of these people get away with certain things in their country. So stop booking these Airbnbs when you travel internationally, guys, because this is very scary. Trust me, very scary. I had a call where a group of people went to, I forgot what they went, but when they came back, they were being robbed. They came back from eating, and they said the last person that was in the house was the house cleaner. And when they came back, people was robbing their Airbnb, taking all their belongings, and set them on the curb at gunpoint and made them take off their stuff. So stop renting Airbnbs internationally. Stay at a resort or a hotel.
As most of y'all know, we are out here in Mexico. We came for 2 weeks, and specifically we're here in Sinaloa. If you're not familiar, don't watch me. We came to Sinaloa for 2 weeks because my daughter's birthday, and we did her a little birthday party, etc., whatever. Anyways, me and my daughter were supposed to stay for 2 weeks, or are staying for 2 weeks, and my man was supposed to leave yesterday, right? Because he just can't miss that much work, bitch, we need to pay bills. Anyways, he was supposed to leave yesterday, but I think it was, yeah, yesterday morning. If you're not familiar, or of course you probably don't know this, but we have to fly in and out from Culiacan. Girl, when I tell you it was hot, well, it is hot. It's Tuesday. Everything started yesterday morning. Yeah, they tried, him and his uncle were trying to make their flight, and they were not allowed to go into Culiacan. You know, there's pistoleros, there's just men with everywhere. My man even got in trouble because his dumbass was recording. They literally fucking pointed at the car and said, "Get the fuck out," except for my man. Anyways, it was this whole thing. But yeah, more of the story is that I'm fucking stressed. When am I not stressed? Right? But now I'm even more stressed because one, I don't know when I'm hoping we're able to leave on Sunday. You know, that's when that's our original flights, leaving on Sunday. Oh, I don't know what happened to my phone, but yeah, that's our original flights. So hopefully we're able to make that. But yeah, y'all pray for us. If not, I don't know how the fuck we're gonna pay for shit. You know, I think I am gonna end up having to fucking post my Cash App on my bio or something because, baby, right now we're kind of stuck. You know, they literally did the whole thing here in where they're from. I don't want to say the exact town, but they blocked off all the entrances they blocked them off. They literally from my suegra's like boyfriend's work, they work for the government, whatever, garbage trucks, whatever, they stole one of the garbage trucks, and they stole a camion, and I don't know what else, and they blocked off the roads. It's just this whole thing. I have videos too, but I don't know if I should post that. Should I? For the plot or no? But yeah, you guys, it's actually pretty fucking scary. You know, the Centro was closed. If you don't know, the Grito is this Sunday, and so there's like a whole kind of like a fair festival, whatever, in downtown. Yeah, all that is shut down. Everybody's inside. I mean, you're allowed to go and drive around the city if you want, or the town, but like it's recommended not to. But then like after we thought it kind of died down, we went to go look around, and it was kind of died down, but like it's still like, you get what I'm saying? I don't know, it's just the whole thing. So yeah, that's a little update because I've been so MIA. It's also hard to fucking upload because like I have no connection. But yeah, love y'all. We're safe, by the way, don't be worried. But I just had to give y'all the little tea. I might be homeless when I get back home. No, I'm just kidding. Pray for us to be able to leave on Sunday for real, because I don't even know how the fuck we're gonna do it. My mom's missing a whole other week now, so yeah.
So this next story has to be told in two parts. The first part is very funny. It's going to be hilarious. It's about our trip to Cabo. There were 17 of us. So I'm going to start with the funny part, and the second part is going to be about the scary portion. The portion that one of us almost got kidnapped. There was a car chase. Yeah. So I was in charge of booking a Cabo trip, and it ended up being 17 of us. So I booked a 3-story, 9-bedroom villa. It was absolutely gorgeous. I went through cabovillas.com. If you guys ever want to do this, I suggest that. It was safe. It was a great time. Now I'm going to start from the very beginning. This story is about my compa. He's a good time. So my compadre comes, and we're going to leave for the airport. I think we were leaving like at 6 in the morning. So everybody was going to arrive at my house at 5:30 in the morning. Well, compa gets there like at 5 in the morning, and he's got a bottle of tequila and shots. And he literally comes to the bedroom. My husband's like, honey, you're dressed, right? He could come in. I'm like, yeah, he could come in. Comes in, he's like, party time. Come on, comadre, let's take a shot. So I'm assuming that, oh, okay, he's going to take a shot with me and my husband. I said, oh, get Sergio. No, I already took a shot with Sergio. Okay, great. Boom, we take a shot 5 in the morning. Now, I didn't realize he did that with every single person that arrived at my house. So by the time we get to the airport, he is litty titty. Like, he is wasted. And I'm like, oh my God, are they even going to let him on the plane? Like, you know, he's loud. He's a great time. He's a ball of fun. Well, he didn't get kicked off the plane, thank God. But they did know he was drunk. But they also knew we were in a big group, and we kind of kept him online. So we finally get there, and he's still drunk. We get to the villa. Now, I had arranged everything for the villa. So we already had our cupboards were filled with alcohol. The refrigerators were filled with food and booze. We were going to barbecue. We were going to party. And when we arrived, they had guacamole and chips ready for us. They had a bunch of margaritas already blended for us. And they had masseuse there to give us all massages. I planned a great trip. Anyways, so we get there and I tell everybody, okay, everybody make themselves comfortable, have a margarita, start your massages. I'm going to go and assign all the rooms for everybody. So I go down and it's a spiral staircase. So 3 stories. It spirals, then it breaks, and then you got to go down another set of stairs to get to the bottom story. First thing I notice is these stairs on the spiral, if you've ever been on a spiral staircase, they get very narrow. They're very narrow until they get thicker. So I make it a point to go up there, grab everybody and say, please pay attention to me right now that everyone's sober. Minus my compadre. Right now that everyone's sober, pay attention. When you're going down these spiral staircases, hold the rail. We plan to get wasted for the next 3 days. I don't want anybody to fall. The stairway is marble tile on the floor. Hold the rail. Everybody hears me, right? And they're like, yes. I go, okay. I tell my husband, can you help me grab the suitcases to take them to our room? And everybody, you're going to follow me one at a time so I can take you to the rooms. So my husband's busy and my compadre says, I'm like, oh, he's like, okay, babe, give me a minute. My compadre is like, I got you, comadre, I got you. He's got his margarita on his left hand, and he's got my luggage that he's going to help me with on his right hand. And he just starts bolting down the staircase. Y'all know what's going to. I'm behind him, and I'm like, compadre, hold the rail. I couldn't even finish my sentence. Guys, I'm only laughing because he was okay, but he started falling, right? And he fell in a spiral so fast. He, at the time, you know, he's not a small man. He's not a huge man, but he's not a small man. He's falling down the stairs to the point where he was no longer in my sight. Mind you, I'm behind him running down the stairs as I hold the rail with one hand, and I got my suitcase in the other, and you just hear, bah, 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 and then you hear the glass break, and then silence. Now, I can't see him. I can hear people behind me like, oh my God. And I'm running, I'm like, compadre. So I get down there, and he's laid out. My husband approaches him first because my husband ran past me, and he's picking him. Like, I'm like, careful, babe, careful. He hit hard. I heard it. I didn't see it, but I heard it. And finally, compadre wakes up, and he's like, I'm so sorry. I fucking fell. Mind you, I'm only laughing because he was okay. And I'm like, compadre, I told you to hold the rail. Like that was my last instruction that I gave. And he was like, I was just trying to help. Oh my God, you guys. So now he has to stay drinking to not feel the pain of the fall. He didn't have anything wrong with his face, but he did have a little chichon. I think it was like back here, and he ended up with like a bruise on his rib cage, a bruise on his booty. Oh my goodness. That wasn't the last time he fell either. So the next day we're at the beach. And one of my cousins wants to go on this yacht. So half of the group goes on this yacht and the other half stay behind to just enjoy the water and the drinks and the beach. Compadre goes on the yacht. They come back and my cousin's like, compadre fell 2 times. I'm like, what? How? He's like, you know, he's trying to stand up. He's still drunk. And he's trying to stand up on this yacht. And then the yacht, I guess the bottom of the yacht was glass. And just boom, right on his face. Luckily, he didn't hurt his face. But he's like, we're like, oh my God. And then we climb out of the boat. He gets out of the boat. And then he falls off the steps into the sand. And I'm like, oh my God, compadre. Like, we need to safety wrap you or something. You are too crazy. Anyways, he had a blast. I'm like, compadre, you fell. He's like, I'm all right. He was a great time, but yeah. Don't take 17 shots right before you're going to take an airplane because you're going to have to stay drunk the whole time. So this next part of the Cabo trip is not funny at all, and that's why I separated the two stories. In fact, it was so scary that I will never go back to Cabo for this reason. Now, thank God that I booked our stay with CaboVillas.com and we rented a very safe villa, because had I gone Airbnb route, it could have ended so bad. So just so you guys know, it wasn't so far long ago. It was 2021. So we're on the night of the second day and we go bar hopping. And remember, there's 17 of us. We're all wearing matching shirts and we're having a great time. We're in papas and beer. Now, one of the gentlemen stepped out to have a cigarette. At the same time, he was probably out there for a few minutes. We're starting to head out and make our way because we're going to walk around the block to the next bar. Now, I'm not counting heads. I kind of assume we're all together. We're kind of straggling out of the bar, waiting for everyone. And then one of my cousins sees the gentleman that's being walked to a car by two guys. Now, the gentleman from our group does not speak Spanish. These two guys obviously speak Spanish. And they're kind of like, they're not aggressively holding him, but they definitely have their hands behind him as if they're getting ready to force him into the car. Now, I don't think he knew that they literally had this gesture right behind his arm, because he said they weren't forcing him, but when we're from the backside looking, they were either getting ready to grab him or they were already gently touching him. Just as the car door opens, my cousin screams out his name. And he turns, so they turn, and he immediately starts walking back to the group. And my cousin tells him, dude, where were you going? He's like, I don't know. They said that they were going to take me to an ATM machine. Now, mind you, he's trying to figure out what they're doing, where they're taking him and what's going on. So I am not hearing the story right then and there because I'm walking with, we're drinking, we're partying, we're having a good time with everyone else. So my cousin tells him, no, you go to the front of the group. So he starts walking to the front of the group. And then my cousin now is kind of like alert now, looking around. And we're all walking. And my cousin's watching his surroundings, paying attention. And he calls me up. And he's like, Chita, the guys that were about to grab so-and-so. No, I'm like, wait, what do you mean? And he fills me in with what he had just witnessed. Him and his wife had just witnessed this. He goes, they're following us. And I look, and sure enough, two guys, one's on our side of the street, one's on the other side of the street, and then there's a third guy starting to make his way. And they're signaling to each other. And I'm like, okay. I tell someone, run and get my compadre, because I can see my husband's way in the front guiding the group. My compadre is kind of in the middle. We're now out of the main street, kind of turning on the side street, so it's a little bit dark, trying to get to the next block. So I tell my compadre, hey, these two guys were trying to get so-and-so into a car. Now they're following us. So he turns and looks, and he's like, oh yeah, they're trying to plan some shit. So he's like, okay, let's get to the light. Go and grab the group, like tell the group to wait under this light post. That's we're gonna start approaching. Obviously, we're not gonna stop where it's dark, so we get to the light. And we kind of wait till everyone gathers. And my compadre walks away from the group to go and approach these guys. Now, mind you, everyone's still trying to figure out, they don't know what's going on. I'm watching my compadre and these guys because my compadre, he's a pretty good sized guy. He's a bald guy, and he's a very protective kind of guy. A very, we're going to get down, we'll get down kind of guy. I send them to go get my husband because my husband is very similar in character as far as the protection for his family. So they've got to run to the front. My husband has no idea what's going on. Half the group has no idea what's going on. At this point, only like 4 of us realize something might go down. So my compadre goes to the guys in Spanish. And he's like, why are you guys following us? In a more aggressive tone. And the guys are like, your buddy over here owes us One says he owes him $60, the other one says he owes him $80, and then all of a sudden it turns into $300. Now the guy still doesn't even know why they were trying to walk him to the corner, and he's confused, and he's obviously doesn't even know Spanish, so he doesn't even know what's being said right now. My cousin doesn't speak Spanish. I speak very little Spanish, so we're trying to figure it out. My compadre is arguing with them. Now, as he's arguing with them, more guys are coming. So my husband finally goes, babe, what's going on? And then I said, I'm still getting the story. I think shit's going to go down. So my husband walks over there. Now you got two bald guys. Two very protective bald guys. So one of their guys steps away and he's calling more guys. And my husband and my cousin are not being quiet, and they're going to intimidate them back. So they're, confronting the guys. And then my compadre goes, okay, and comes to me, tells the guys, wait a minute, comes to me and says, so they're trying to say that our gentleman here swallowed a bag of drugs. And I'm like, he just swallowed a whole bag of drugs. That's what they're trying to say. And he's like, yeah, and that they want us to pay them $300 and they'll let us go. And my husband's like, oh, fuck that. My husband walks over to them, starts talking shit to them in Spanish, makes a call. My husband calls. The villa comes with its own car service, and their vans are white with tinted windows, and they fit all of us in one van. And they told us, if you get into any trouble, you call us, we'll be there within a minute. So my husband, whatever's going to go down or not, my husband's making the call, hangs up, starts talking crap to them. My husband tells me, get everybody close. The villa's going to pick us up right here, the villa car. And these guys get wind that, oh, they're going to take off. So they start calling their cars. Mind you, I'm talking to the gentleman, and he's like, what are they saying? I swallowed a bag of what? Like, he's still so very freaking confused. And I go, what were they telling you? He goes, they came and told me they were trying to sell me a drug. And I told him, no, I'm okay. He goes, he put it near my face. I kind of backed away, and that was it. Then they told me that I owed them money. And he's like, he's as confused. He goes, and then all of a sudden they were like, go over here, go over here. And he goes, I kind of had a feeling they were going to get aggressive. So I didn't want any drama for you guys, so I kind of started walking away. And that's when immediately after the first few steps I took, that's when they called me, and I ran back to the group. So he's like, I'm so confused. I didn't really know what the hell was going on. So my husband tells him, we're not fucking paying you shit. You're going to leave us alone because I can make more calls if I need to. So the van immediately pulls up. We all load up in the van. We start to take off. Now they're loading up. They got two cars. They got one truck and a car. And they're loading up. They've got 4 guys in each car. And they follow. They follow us all the way back to the villa. Now, like I said, thank God we got the villa and not the Airbnb, because Airbnb there was no protection at an Airbnb. We would have been alone and these guys would have ransacked us in our Airbnb. But the villa, you have to go through security clearance. And when we pulled in, there was already a van in front. We were in the middle, and another van pulled up behind us, and then another van pulled up. And these guys pulled near the villa entrance, but they didn't pull in the villa entrance. So when the other vans came, by the time the truck came by, the truck saw 4 white vans. They have no idea which one we are in. So the truck just kept going. Eventually the car's sitting there like, they don't know what they're going to do either. They can't follow us in. They're not going to get access to get in the villas. And they don't know what van we're in. So they eventually take off too. That was an extremely scary situation. And mind you, we hung out with this gentleman for the rest of the night. He never broke character or got high or acted strange or weird. Like if he swallowed a bag of whatever drug they think they were going to sell him. He never had any kind of reaction to someone who would have inhaled a bunch of drugs. So we know this story was bogus. They were just trying to get money out of him. And he told him he didn't have cash. So they told him, we'll take you to the ATM. And then his wife says his ATM's not even working. So I know he didn't understand where he was going, because he would have been like, I don't have a working ATM card. None of it made sense. All I know is Cabo was a very dangerous place, and we will not be going back.
Okay, if you're going to Tulum anytime soon, you need to know this, because all of the videos I watched, all the things I looked up, nobody's talking about this. If you're going outside for the night, please, by the love of God, do not take a lot of money with you. Don't even have any money in your purse or wallet. Keep it on your body. Because me and my sister, the first night we were there, I think we were going back to Airbnb. It was like 9 p.m., maybe even 8:30. We got stopped by the police. They like cut the road off, and they're like stopping everybody, asking them if they spoke English or Spanish. If you spoke English, you're getting stopped. They proceeded to like look through our things for drugs and stole 1,000 pesos and like some American dollars out of my sister's wallet, and then try to extort me and tell me I need to pay them more, otherwise they're taking my ID to the police station and I'll need to pick it up later. Anyways, with that being said, they're targeting tourists, so please don't get robbed by the fucking police. It's crazy. And they also threatened me. I don't know what the fuck they got.
Story time of how I got arrested in freaking Cancun, Mexico. Yes, I went to jail on a girls trip. So if y'all about to go to Cancun, Mexico, or any type of trip out of the country, y'all need to come on and watch this video. Oh my God, I don't even freaking know where to start. So y'all, basically, so me and my 4 friends, we go out to a pool party at like Congo Bungo or something like that. Coco Bunga, Congo, whatever. Some lit ass pool party in Mexico. We turned up, we got the bottles, we popping shots. We're lit as hell. Like, we're so freaking lit. Like, we was turned the fuck up real bad. So I, out of the rest of the girls, get a little too lit, so I like physically just like start throwing up. I'm not like super white girl wasted, drunk, falling out, but I'm just like, y'all, like I feel sick. Like no more shots for me. Like I'm done for. Like I'm sick. One of the girls was just basically like, yeah, no, Johnny is sick. We're gonna go back to the resort because like we're too lit. And like boys were starting to try to like come near us and inviting us to their Airbnb and stuff like that. But we're like, no, like Johnny is sick. I'm done for. We're going back. So one of the girls was basically just like, no, like y'all go, I'm fine. I'll stay with the boys. I'll go back to their Airbnb. Y'all can kind of like meet me up later, whatever. So the one friend who was saying like, no, we're going back. She's like, girl, no, you're not going with them. You're coming back with us. Like we all came together. We all leaving together, which I get. Some way, somehow, in the mix of that, there was like an argument between the two girls. Like, girl, we're going back to the resort. You're not going with the boys. Girl, just leave me. I want to go with the boys. Go back. Or da-da-da-da. Like X, Y, and Z. So it just became like a back and forth argument. Like, you're not going. Yes, I am. I want to have fun. You're not going. Yes, I am. I want to have fun. So it just became like a whole argument, dispute. Words start flying. Eventually the girl was just like, okay, fuck it, I'm just come back, like it's not that big of a deal. So she gets back into the car, but it still becomes like a heated argument inside of the car. One girl was basically like, I don't appreciate how you were coming at me, basically saying like I'm a bad friend, or I'm fake, or I'm disloyal, or I'm X, Y, and Z, because I wanted to go continue to have fun like on my trip. Basically, like you could have said it in a different. She basically, I guess, was trying to explain that instead of snapping like you're disloyal, you're this, you're that, da da da, that she could have just explained it in a better way by asking her to come back with us. So I definitely get both sides. Like, girl, I'm your friend. I'm trying to protect you. I'm not letting your drunk ass go to Airbnb with some random ass niggas. But then I also get the other side. Like, girl, I'm your friend. You're not my mom. You don't have to talk to me in that way. Like, if I wanted to do what I wanted to do, then bye, leave me. Like, so it's like I get both sides, honestly. Either way, so we're all in a taxi on our way about to go back to the resort, and the two girls are still at each other's motherfucking throats. Yo, like seriously, at each other's throats real bad. They're at each other's throats so damn bad it gets to the point where now motherfuckers are swinging windmill, like they're throwing punches at this point. Like it's no longer friends just arguing, punches are being thrown. Meanwhile, I'm on the side, I'm drunk as shit, but I'm starting to like come back to it. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? So I kind of jump into the middle of it, trying to like break them up. Like I'm in the backseat trying to break them up. Our other friend, the fourth friend, she's trying to break them up as well. Me and her have nothing to do with nothing. We're just kind of like trying to stop them from fighting because it's just like this is getting out of hand. Some way, somehow, the taxi driver, I guess, flagged down the police and they just came over and swarmed our car. Like, they swarmed. So, next thing you know, one of the girls was dragged out of the car and cuffed. Like, literally dragged out and cuffed. They had no remorse. They weren't trying to hear nothing we trying to say. Like, we're trying to tell them, like, it was just a friendly argument. Like, it's fine. It's a fine. Like, we're not from here. We're just going to head back to our resort. Like, she doesn't need to get arrested. They did not give a flying fuck at all. So now the other girl who was fighting her is basically like, no, like, it's okay. Like, we were just, like, we're friends. Like, we were just, like, having a little tussle. Like, it's fine. Like, she don't need to go to jail. The cops are like, back up before you're next. And she's like, well, take me, cuff me up. So she ends up getting arrested as well. So now 2 out of the 4 of us are arrested. And now I'm starting to panic because I'm like, oh my God, like 2 of my friends are freaking cuffed up in jail at this point. So, I'm like panicking. So I'm like snapping at the police, like, let them go. Those are my friends. Where you taking them? Da da da. My friends are like cuffed up and crying hysterically. I'm trying to calm them down. I'm like, just relax, stop resisting, let them take you. I'm gonna figure shit out. I'm telling the cops. I'm trying to like talk to them, but I'm obviously saying it in like a hyper aggressive tone because I'm worked up. Like 2 of my friends are freaking locked up. We out of the country in fucking Mexico. What did y'all expect me to be? Calm? Can you let my friends go? No. Like, I'm turned up. Let my friends out. So now it's just me and my other friend. 2 of them are locked up in jail. It's just me and her left. She's trying to calm me down. She's like, Janae, relax, calm down, because if you get arrested, I'm by myself and I'm going to be alone. So she's like, chill out. Like, please stop before you're next. And I'm like, I'm calm, I'm relaxed. I was chilling, y'all. Like, seriously, I was so calm. I brought my 10 down to a 2 real quick. So we get into a taxi with the guys from the Airbnb that the other girl wanted to go to. They followed us, like came with us to the police station. We go to the police station. I'm calm at this point. I'm on the phone with my mom, like telling her what's going on. Like, Mom, my friends are arrested and we're blah, 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 blah. I get out the taxi and I walk into the police station. I'm on the phone still, mind you. So the lady comes up and she basically like, how can I help you? And I'm like, I'm on the phone. I'm like, I'm here for my 2 Americano friends, the 2 Monenas. They're black girls. They got picked up at a pool party like 5 minutes ago. Mind you, the police station was literally down the street from the pool party. I'm like, they just got picked up. Like, I'm just here to bail them out. Like, how much is the bail? What do we have to do so they can come home? She just scratched out completely everything I just said about that and just said, who you on the phone with? So I'm like, why? That has nothing to do with what I'm here for. Like, I'm asking how to bail my friends out and you're worrying about who I'm on the phone with. Like, why? Why does that matter? So she's like, hang up the phone. No, first she said, tell me the person's name who you're on the phone with. And I said, I'm not doing that. Why does that matter? Why do I have to reveal who I'm on the phone with if I'm not here for that? I'm here. You're worrying about the wrong shit. Next thing you know, other cops are starting to come closer to me. I'm starting to back up. Like, what is going on here? Like, what did I do wrong? I'm confused. What laws am I breaking because I'm on the phone? Like, and I'm not telling you who I'm on the phone with. Is that against the law? Anyway, they literally snatch my phone out my hand, take all of my jewelry and stuff off, cuff me, put the cuffs behind my back, and like basically just drag me into the jail cell. So now I'm in the jail cell with my 2 friends and like some random lady who was in there before us. So now 3 of us are now in jail and the last one is now out, probably losing her shit. Like, where the fuck are my friends at and how can I get them out? So I'm in jail. I'm trying to like calm everybody down, trying to be the peacemaker. I'm like, all the little arguing, fighting stuff that y'all got going on is over with. Like, we're in jail, y'all are friends, cut it out now. Like, I'm being like the mom, I guess, of the group. I'm like, y'all need to wake up. But we're in jail, out of the fucking country. Like, we're in Mexico, in jail, no phones. They took all of our stuff off of us. And our last friend is now by herself, alone, somewhere randomly in Mexico. Like, probably losing her mind. And by the way, her phone was broke because she, I think, dropped it or had water damage from the pool party. So she didn't even have a phone to help with nothing. So it's like, she's literally by herself. I'm like, y'all need to step out of it, wake up. And we need to figure out something. Say sorry, you say sorry, you say sorry, and let's just figure something out, basically. So in the midst of me trying to like calm them down and be the peacemaker, X, Y, and Z, I'm like, our friend is still out there. She's gonna figure out something. She's gonna help us. Like, she has to save the day because we're in jail. Like, we have like she's our only hope at this point. Y'all, literally 5 minutes later, she walks in cuffed, slow walking into the jail cell, gets thrown in with us. So now all 4 of us are in jail. All 4 of us are in jail.
So for 2020, for my birthday, I went to a girls trip to Tulum. We were there for about 5 days. It was 10 girls. We stayed at this Airbnb. I'll try to put it in so you guys can see it, in Tulum. And when we got there, beautiful Airbnb. So there's like rooms downstairs, and you go up the stairs, there's the kitchen, a living room, and a pool like on the roof of the house. It was like in a cut somewhere, and it had like walls around it. Nice house. So we get there, we're having a great trip. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we're enjoying ourselves. We're having fun. We all look really nice. We all have designer stuff, jewelry, but it's nothing too crazy. Like regular Rolex, little bags, shoes, designer stuff, but nothing crazy. Like, we're not going crazy. So fast forward, some of our friends that were from New York were in Tulum as well. So we're like, oh hey, it's my birthday, like come to the house. Like, we're like gonna get in the pool and stuff, order food. So we did that. We were doing that for like 2 nights in a row, and I think like they started to like understand like our little thing that we had planned. Like every night we would get in the pool, and when I say that, I'm talking about whoever set us up. So the last day of our trip, we go out, and then we come back to the house. We went out with our friends from New York, so we invited them back to the house. So we get to the house, we're like having fun, we're playing games, we're on the roof. So next thing you know, I get calls on my phone, but I wasn't seeing it because I was in the pool. So the housekeeper comes and she's like, don't be scared. So I'm like, why is she saying don't be scared? So she's like, you guys have been robbed. So I'm like, miss, we've been here the whole time, we have not been robbed. I go downstairs to my room. Mind you, I'm all packed up because we're leaving in the morning. There's nothing there. No clothes, no shoes, all my jewelry. All I have is the bathing suit that I have on and the slippers that I wore upstairs. There's nothing in my room. Like me and my sister shared a room, all our stuff were gone. I started screaming and crying hysterically. I had so many bags, so many shoes. I had 2 Rolexes, a diamond cross chain, and $3,000 in my bag. So I'm crying hysterically. My friends come down, they're like, what the fuck is going on? So they go into their room, their stuff is gone too. So there's 4 rooms, 3 rooms, they took our stuff. I guess they couldn't get to the last one. So now we call the cops. The cops are no help, of course. I start calling the owner, like, first of all, if you seen, he's like, oh, we seen it on the camera, that's how we knew you've been robbed. And I'm like, so why you didn't been like come or call the cops? Like that makes no sense. You tell us we had to call the cops. Why wouldn't you call the cops? And like, what? And I'm like, he had to set us up because how they got in the house, they climbed the wall and went through the balcony in my room because my balcony door was open. And I feel like they knew the balcony door was open when they came to clean the house, and they told them like, okay, their stuff is there, the balcony room is open, you can take the ladder and climb up the wall and then go into the balcony. And that's how they got into my room, and then they got all my stuff. So the police end up going like around the block. They found some of my stuff, like I think a bag and one of my wallets. They found, like, they dropped it on the floor. They found it. They stole my friend's passports. I still have my passport. They left my passport on my bed. They actually left my wallet. They just emptied the money out of it and left the wallet. They took my friend's, her Rolex too, and my other 2 friends' passports, their bags, their laptops, stuff like that. So now I'm like complaining to the owner, like, how could this happen? And like, he's like, oh, he starts blaming it on us, saying that we got robbed by the people because we were welcoming locals to the house. I was like, how are these people locals? These are my friends from back home. These aren't locals. Oh, those people are not on the Airbnb thing. I'm like, yeah, but they're from America. These are my friends. We got robbed by Mexicans. Like, what are you talking about? So I'm completely traumatized at this point. I don't want to stay at the house. So we go to our other friends that were there. We go and stay at their Airbnb because we don't want to stay there. Like, we felt violated. And I didn't have anything. Like, I literally left Mexico in a bathing suit. Like, I got on the airplane with a bathing suit and a pair of shorts that my homeboy gave me. Like, I've never been so traumatized. And then they were gaslighting me, trying to make it seem like it was our fault. Oh, we were being flashy. We weren't even doing the most. It was like, I have nice things, like, and I wasn't even doing the most. I was chilling. They were no help. Airbnb was no help. It was just one of the most violating experiences I think I've ever went through. Like, for all my hard-earned things, Like, I had so, like, if I tell y'all like how much things I had, like Hermes shoes, a brand new Gucci bag with matching shorts that I never wore with the tags on it. I had Louis Vuitton shoes, Louis Vuitton bag, Louis Vuitton sunglasses, like so much designer shit, like maybe over like $25,000. It was my birthday, so I bought like all new shit. Everything was good. Airbnb was like, oh, they did their investigation, and there's like, you know, there's nothing they can do, but they refunded me back for the house. And I was like, okay, whatever. The owner took no accountability. He was disgusting, like so disgusting. All he kept doing was blaming us, saying it's not his fault, he had nothing to do with this. And I'm like, you clearly did, and whatever, like either you or your housekeeper, somebody set us up. And for you, he wasn't even there, so for you to say that we were being flashy, that means you were looking at us. So I didn't meet the owner once when I got to that Airbnb. So, and then Tulum police, horrible. Like, they were no help, they were rude, they didn't care, they were laughing, but it probably was in on it. So it was just disgusting. I would never ever in my life go back to Tulum. It was an amazing trip until that part. Like, they're crooked, they're disgusting people, and I don't recommend for you guys to go there, like, at all.
Tulum is awesome, but it is dangerous. I went to Tulum for about a week last year in May, and boy, did I have an experience. I had my first dangerous encounter day one. Story time. I made this mistake and I was robbed $200 from the Tulum police. The amount of times that my group got pulled over that week alone by the cops was around like 5 times. But the first night that we got pulled over, we were just driving and we hit what looked like a DUI checkpoint. And when it was our turn to hit the DUI checkpoint, I was freaking out because immediately they just started looking at us with their giant guns and I started getting questioned. Thank God we had a Tulum resident with us, because if not, we would have been in some deep shit. Ultimately, they asked to see my wallet. They took my dollar bills. I had 200 in there, so that was a big L for the day. So my advice to you is, if you're going to carry cash, carry a little bit and do not carry any big bills. And then an even crazier thing that happened was that my group and I got conned out of $7 grand for bottle service. I was with a group of around like 10 people, and we got bottle service at this like afters club, and they kept bringing out bottle after bottle, and like, we weren't ordering these bottles, but like we thought maybe someone was. I don't know what we thought. But essentially at the end of the night, at this point, it's like 4 a.m. and we are trying to get out of this place, and they had charges for $7 grand. And all of our cards were getting declined because a $7 grand charge at 4 a.m. in the middle of Mexico, like, that's sketchy. The soldiers had their guns drawn, so it was really scary. So just be mindful of where you guys choose to drink and party, because not everywhere is safe.
I grew up in Southern California next to the border, and this is a crazy story that happened to someone that I know. Picture this, you're a guy, you finally found a girl that you want to settle down with and be with forever. You're extremely happy with her. You go on a trip with her and some of your friends to Mexico. Okay, you're at a bar, things are going great, tequila's flowing, mariachi music's playing, you're having tacos or whatever, and everything's great. Okay, you're busy talking to your friends, and her friends are busy or whatever, so she goes to the bathroom. You don't really hear from her for a few minutes, so you go look, and she's not there, and you can't find her. You spend the next couple days searching because you can't find her anywhere in Mexico, and you're panicking, you're freaking out, but your trip's over. You have to come back. You've alerted authorities. There's nothing that anyone can do at the moment. She's gone. The girl that you thought didn't exist, who's so perfect for you, is gone. So you're in line at the border trying to get back into the United States, and there's traffic, and you look over at a car, at an SUV, and you see her like sitting in the back seat, and you're like, is that her? Your friends look at her and look at you and like, oh my God, that is her. So you're waving at her, rolling down your window, trying to get her attention, and you're in the border patrol line, so you're trying not to like get out or make a big scene, but you're still trying to get their attention. Your girlfriend is not being responsive at all. She's just sitting there, kind of sitting down, sitting face forward, not moving. And so you notice something's off, like something's definitely wrong. You haven't heard from her. What is happening? You can't do anything to get her attention, so you finally alert the border patrol guards and you say, hey, that truck has my girlfriend in there. You know, she went missing a few days ago. You know, you got to go check it out. So they do. They go over, they check out the car, and they pull her out of the car, and they bring everyone else out of the car too. When they pull her out of the car, they realize she's dead, and her entire body is filled with drugs. She's been killed, and everything in her has been removed, and they've just filled her with drugs to get her across the border. One of the worst stories ever.
I'm back from Cabo, and I was sexually assaulted at the resort that I stayed at, and the resort did absolutely nothing to protect me, and I want to talk about it. I thought long and hard about making this video because the whole entire experience was incredibly dehumanizing, but I want this to be a public announcement and just a warning to anyone that wants to leave the US and go to a resort for vacation. After I got essayed, I went and I told the resort management, and not only did resort management do absolutely nothing, they victimized me, and they also said, oh well, if this person drinks again, we'll just cut them off. She sexually assaulted me, and they were doing nothing about it. And I did some research, and I realized that this is a huge issue. A lot of women get sexually assaulted at resorts abroad, and the resorts do everything and anything to cover it up. Detroit Free Press did a huge investigative report on this, and it turns out that many women who went to a resort in Jamaica also had the same experience that I had, where they got sexually assaulted, and either the resort did nothing about it, or they tried to have them sign NDAs and cover it up, because for them, prioritizing their loyal, visitors who come on a regular basis is much more important than protecting their other guests that get sexually assaulted by them. Tag the resort in the comments. Please avoid them at all costs. I would not recommend you going there. And if you are any person who is deciding to go outside of the US to go to a resort and vacation, please, please, please be careful. Be vigilant. Do not trust anyone around you, because if you do get essayed, they will more than likely try to cover it up, and they will do everything to make sure that their entity and their resort is protected, not you.
You're fucking lying. That motherfucker really said, are you gonna be okay? And got in the motherfucking truck and left me here? In the middle of the fucking... Hold on. The joke is up. The joke is fucking up. I ain't think he was gonna leave. I ain't think he was gonna leave. I know. Oh, never again. Never the fuck again. This man left me in the middle of the motherfucking jungle. This shit never again.
And that's it for part 2, guys. Remember, if you haven't watched part 1, make sure you go and watch part 1. Make sure you watch the whole playlist that I got out there, and also look out for part 3. The key is to have your post notification bell on and to subscribe to my channel for you to be able to get that post notification, right? Okay, period. So I will see y'all on part 3. Bye.
Hey, Zuma, you taking off?